Hello, I would like to welcome you to a new project we're starting here at Raymore Christian Church. For visitors to our church and to our social media pages, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Pastor Andrea. I am the Minister of Children, Youth, and Families here at Raymore Christian Church. Something that I have missed most during this fall season with our COVID pandemic is getting to greet our young worshipers on Sunday mornings. What we do here at Raymore Christian Church is children's church called Worship and Wonder, where we meet in our children's sanctuary, and I get to share our foundational Bible stories with our young church members. Since we can't do that with the pandemic, everything we do in this space is hands-on and very close together, which we know isn't safe right now. But I didn't want to miss sharing these stories with each of you. So what I'm going to do is share our Worship and Wonder stories in video form right here on Facebook, also on our YouTube channel, also on our church website, raymorecc.org, so that you may enjoy these videos with your children and your family at a time that it's convenient for you during your week. So I will start our story time today as we would start it in our Worship and Wonder room. And the first thing we do each time we meet is light our Christ candle. When we light this candle together, it is a reminder that God is with us when we come together and share His special stories. Get that flame up a little bit so that you can see it. I'll leave that right over here. So this is our desert box. So many important things happened in the desert that we just had to have a small piece of it right here in our church. Now the desert is a strange and wild place. At night, it's very cold. But during the day, the desert is very hot. There's almost no water at all. The desert is always changing. As the wind blows, it moves and shifts the sand, so the desert is never the same twice. Once, Abram and Sarai lived in the beautiful city of Haran. The one true God loved Abram and Sarai. One day, He said to them, "Move away from your home. I will give you a new home and new land. It's okay to go. I will be with you. I will bless you, and I will make you a blessing." Abram and Sarai looked out across the desert. It would be sad to leave their home and their friends. They wondered if they would be safe. They wondered if God would be with them. But Abram and Sarai went. They trusted the one true God to show them the way. They came to Shechem in the land of Canaan. God had been with them in Haran. Would God be here too? Then God said to them, "Look out across the desert. All this land I will give to your children." Abram and Sarai were so happy that God was with them, they couldn't help but give thanks to God. So they built a special place, an altar, and they prayed their thanks to God. Then they moved on to a place near Bethel. And God was here too. Abram and Sarai were so happy that God was with them, they couldn't help but to give thanks to God. So they built an altar and prayed their thanks. Then a famine came, and there was no food to eat. They were very hungry. Abram and Sarai moved to the land of Egypt for food. Abram was scared. He was scared of the people in Egypt. He forgot God promised to be with them. But God didn't forget. God kept Abram and Sarai safe. The Egyptians were good to them and gave them food and animals. Abram and Sarai moved back to the land of Canaan, the land God promised to give them, to a place called Hebron. Abram and Sarai wondered if God would be here too. God had been with them in Haran and Shechem and near Bethel and in Egypt. Would God be in Hebron too? Then God said to them, I will give you many children to live in this land. Abram and Sarai were so happy God was with them, they couldn't help but to give thanks to God. So they built an altar and they prayed their thanks to the one true God who was with them. Now, Abram and Sarai knew that the one true God who had spoken to them and who had showed them the way was with them in every place and in every time, just as God promised. At the end of our worship and wonder stories, we get a chance to wonder together. Our wondering time is not a quiz. There's no right answer or wrong answer. It's a free space, a safe place for us to wonder about the stories we heard. I'll share some questions with you, and maybe you can talk to your family about these questions. I wonder how Abram and Sarai felt when God told them to move away from their home. I wonder how it felt to leave their home and not know where they were going. I wonder if you've ever gone somewhere and not known where you are going. I wonder how Abram and Sarai felt as they moved through the desert, going from place to place to place. I wonder how they felt when they heard God speak to them in all of these places. I wonder where God is when you go from place to place. And I wonder how many places God can be. We close our story time out by changing out the light. I wonder, as we change out the light, if any words will sound familiar from our story. We say that the light that is in one place at one time now changes so that it can be in all places, all at once. Thank you for watching our story of Abram and Sarai. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to meet you here in Cyber Church again soon. Blessings, friends.